Hi Freunde, wir sind hier mit Mark und Roland vom Warhammer Online Team. What are you doing the whole day? What's your job? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I work on the international team, so my job is to make sure the game gets localized, working very closely with our partners in Goa to make sure the game is in all of the right languages for our game. It's supported correctly in all of the countries that we currently have War released in. And Mark works on the development side of War.
I work specifically on live events and Warhammer content.
Nice, nice. Can you give us a small overview about Warhammer Online for those who don't know the game?
Well, I can't think how that would be as we've promoted it so well, but if you don't know anything about War, then what you have to remember is that it is about dominating things. It is about crushing real opponents. It is about player versus player, realm versus realm content. It has unique features like public quests. It has unique user interface things like the Tome of Knowledge, and it is about bringing communities together to fight each other to the death. And if that sounds your sort of game, then Warhammer is for you. It's also based on the Games Workshop property.
It's War.
Yeah, the Games Workshop Warhammer property, which has been around for over 26 years now. So it has a very deep intellectual property to draw from, and it's why things are so well realised and the characters and careers are so strongly represented. We've had all of that to draw on and add all of the knowledge and experience that Mythic has got with kind of realm versus realm. Perfect marriage between those two.
The Land of the Dead was the last free expansion of the game.
Land of the Dead introduced 2 new zones to the game. It's an amazing area that is unlocked through RVR. You have to capture zones and kill enemy players to gather resources. And when you do, you get to go in, exploit the Land of the Dead, and most importantly, you get to kill the enemy players that are there first.
So it's more the Egypt style zone and more desert, and
it does have an Egyptian feel to it, but of course it's the Warhammer take on the Egyptian feel. And the really great part is at the end you get to assault the Tomb of the Vulture Lord, which is a giant undead pyramid, and it has all kinds of really interesting booby traps that you have to disarm, and you even can purge the enemy players out of there, and they get to set those traps against you.
So can you tell us a bit more about the live events and the content in future?
Sure. Coming up in September, we're having our 1-year anniversary. We have an amazing live event going live called the Wild Hunt. It's the High Elf seasonal event where we introduce the unique 6-man dungeon called the Hunter's Veil. It is the coolest, most badass event we've ever created.
Oh, nice. So there are a lot of rumors that some people are leaving Warhammer Online right now. What's the fact?
Well, we still have very, very healthy server populations, and what we're doing really is, as a maturing MMO, we're a year in now. We've really got the game into a fantastically polished state, and it's down to us to introduce that game to as many people as possible. So the people who are still playing the game, they love what we've done, and we're taking care of them. We're making sure their concerns are addressed, and it's a lot of what we do is focused on that customer feedback and making sure that our customers are happy and that we address, their concerns. An example would be we're really looking at kind of Tier 4, our end game, and we're addressing the sort of things and comments that our players have come back to us and said, look, we really want RVR to be in the end game. You've got too much PvE in there. So we've gone through the city capture and we've looked at how we're going to present that and put far more RVR in. Things like battlefield objectives, looking at the PQs and removing more of the PvE elements out and making it much more about killing your opponents.
Okay.
And that combined with our new user experience that we're looking to put into the game in the near future, where we're really making it as easy as possible for players to come into the game. Light client, so it's easy to download, streamlined procedures to get people into the game, and also when they get into the game, making it as transparent as possible to them what they need to do and to get the most out of the game. MMOs are very, very complex, and what we're looking at the moment is introducing our take on the MMO to players in the most concise, and clear way possible. And we think those two things combined will ensure that Warhammer has got a great future by looking after the end game and where our experienced players are, and looking after the beginner experience. We think we have a very long haul on Warhammer and many, many years of content to come.
Okay. So how much players you need to keep the game alive? Can you give us a number?
Well, we have hundreds of thousands of people playing War.
How much people you have actually?
Hundreds of thousands of accounts. So I mean, we have a strong player base. And we're very conscious that obviously servers need to be alive and breathing. So we do look at servers and make sure that low population servers are merged with high population servers to make sure that people in the game are getting the absolute best experience possible. As I said earlier, looking at that new user experience to make sure that people are coming into the game, that the barriers to entry are removed, and looking after our experienced players, we're going to have a healthy population for years to come.
So what can you tell us about the problem of the class balance? So it's hard to keep these classes balanced.
So we've been actually doing lots of things with class balance. Some of those things that we have already addressed just recently that's been very popular with our players is our attention to detail on area of effect spells and crowd control, working through our immunity timers and reducing those, and basically just pushing that down a little bit. And we've taken our time. I know players wanted it sooner rather than later, but I think that everyone agrees that the results that we have from our recent changes on crowd control and AoE have been very good for career balance. And that's the way we're going to keep going forward, is we're going to make adjustments slowly and measured and look at the player feedback and just make those fine-tuned adjustments, and rather than making just huge sweeping changes. We did that first with AoE and crowd control, and now we're doing the fine-tuning. So it'll be an ongoing thing. We will continue to look at career balances and just look at the data and player feedback.
So where do you see Warhammer Online in 1 year?
In a year? Well, it'll have been 2 years old, so I expect to see very, very much more of the same. As in, we know what we're good at. We're good at RVR, and we're going to continue to kind of pour coals on that fire. We're going to make sure that we present our players with the best RVR experience. We're going to look at, obviously, class balance and the perennial things that we need to look at. We'll be adding new content and events, and we'll be addressing what players want. That's very important to us at Mythic. We're a very responsive company, so we listen, and then we change what we're doing accordingly. So hopefully in a year's time, we'll still be listening to our customers and doing what they want.
Yeah, so it's the best way, I think, because the customer is the king. Yeah,
yeah, he is.
He is. Do you have a tip for a noob? For new players, do you have a tip? What's the best way? Which class is the coolest for new players and this kind of thing?
Boy, they're all cool. All the careers are cool.
All the careers are cool. It depends on your playing style and how experienced a player you are. If you are a noob to playing any computer games, then I would say take something that's hard to kill, like a tank, because you'll be able to take a lot more damage and survive longer. If you're more experienced at playing computer games or MMOs, you might want to try a different class depending on your finesse as a player. I think my best advice: go out there and find a guild. Go out there and find a guild. Interact with the community there, and play with other players. Because you will learn so much from that guild. You'll get advice on how to play. They'll be able to help you level up. Guilds are a fantastic social, tapestry that our game's absolutely, interwoven. We need the guilds for our game to work. And you know what? As a newbie, it's an MMO. Go out there, join a guild, and you will level up more quickly. You'll have a better time.
So, and my advice is you can RVR from level 1 all the way up to maximum level 40. All you got to do is click on that little war symbol on your map, and that'll get you into a scenario. A lot of people may not think that you can RVR and do it well at level 1. You can in Warhammer. Everybody can fight.